What's happening, YouTube? Cowboy here with another Heroes of the Storm strategy showcase for you, and today we are taking a look at the hierarch of the Protoss, Artanis. Now, Artanis makes his debut as a melee warrior and an incredibly powerful one. I don't think I've seen a warrior that's this powerful on release since probably Joanna. He boasts incredibly potent kill capacity, great damage, easily on par with most assassins, and on top of that, below 50%, he's one of the most resilient characters in the game right now. So to take a look at his abilities, first up we have Blade Dash. Dash forward and then back again, damaging enemies. Now what's interesting about this is you're basically going to dash in, you're going to deal a set amount of damage, and then in your dash back you're going to deal triple that damage. So you really got to be smart in how you position this to really get the most out of it. That being said, you also need to be smart in when you use it, because during that dash you are susceptible to CC. Nothing is quite as bad as dashing in to hit your enemies and then ending up getting hit with a stun or polymorph, and then you're out of position to just get nuked by the enemy team. So do keep that in mind as you use it. Moving on from there, we have Twin Blades. Relatively low cooldown, high damaging ability. We basically pop this and we're going to immediately strike our enemy twice in a row. And there's going to be powerful synergy between this and Shield Overload. On top of that, you have pretty respectable damaging basic attacks, and with the right talents we can make this even more powerful, allowing you to get a nice little amount of on-demand burst every 4 seconds. Moving on from there, we have Phase Prism, an incredibly powerful positional tool. You can use this to, basically you shoot this out, you hit an enemy hero, and it's going to exchange your positions. So by using this, we can force enemies into body block situations, basically pull enemies away from their team so they just get blown up for us. You know, in very tight areas, you can force it to where an enemy hero is just stuck, pinched between you and the rest of your team. And on top of that, you can actually use it to escape. You know, if you get knocked back towards the enemies by an ETC, Phase Prism, you swap positions, and then you're back close to your team, ready to get out. Moving on to our trait, this is what makes Artanis so incredibly tanky. Basically, as long as you're below 50% health, you will have a shield that will proc anytime you take damage. Now, while it has a 20-second cooldown, you may notice that basic attacks will lower this cooldown by 4 seconds. So, just to put that in perspective, we pop Twin Blades, that's immediately 2 attacks. If we go in, we hit, then we pop 2 blades, boom, boom, boom. That's 3 attacks right there. That's 12 seconds off the cooldown. On top of that, we can make Twin Blades so that it hits 3 times. So basic attack, Twin Blades, boom, boom, boom. Right there, that's going to be 16 seconds off the cooldown. And needless to say, a lot of very strong synergy there. There's other talents that we can use to make Blade Dash help reduce the cooldown. And, you know, there's our level 20 talent. We can get this to where we get 6 seconds off the cooldown instead of 4. All in all, when used properly, you can basically keep Shield Overload up almost indefinitely in combat, making Artanis a very hard warrior to kill. Moving our heroics, we have 2 choices here: Suppression Pulse, which is more our support heroic, and Purifier Beam, our damage option. Suppression Pulse is a global ultimate. It has relatively low damage, but a very large AoE, and it's going to blind all enemies in that AoE for 4 seconds. So obviously, great usage here against heavy right-click teams, stuff like Butcher, Raynor, Sergeant Hammer. Basically take them out of the fight for 4 seconds by mitigating out their damage. Our other choice, which is my personal favorite, is Purifier Beam. This basically targets an enemy hero, and it will drop a beam down that will chase them, dealing constant damage over time as long as the beam keeps up with them. Now, it is important to note that just by running, basically walking in one straight direction, Purifier Beam can be outrun by the enemies. With that in mind, it's very important to make sure you use it when you notice an enemy is about to be stunned or slowed to get the best damage out of it. So, now that we've gone through everything, let's jump on in. We'll do Artanis' Ready Up dance real fast here. Anyway, and we're going to go into our basic talent build here. Like I said, you can really build him for more tanking or more damage. This is kind of a hybrid of both. So first, we're going to be taking Reactive Parry. At 4, we're going to be going for Lethal here. At 7, we're going to be going for Psionic Synergy. At 10, Purifier Beam. At 13, Triple Strikes. At 16, Zealot Charge. And then at 20, Force of Will. Now, as I mentioned, this is a very general build for Artanis. Just to go through some other talents that you could pick up. If you really need to focus on tanking, Shield Surge is an excellent option, giving you an extra 50% shield when your shield first goes up. And while it does decay over 3 seconds, that 3 seconds is usually time that you're getting nuked anyway, allowing it to come back up for you. On top of that, there's another ability where our shield will also apply a spell shield type effect, reducing all spell damage by 3 seconds. So definitely some stronger tanky options if needed. Compared to this matchup, we're looking at 3 tanks and a Sylvanas and a Morales. Feeling pretty confident about that. Both myself and Leoric will have very strong damage up front, Excellent siege from Gaz and Asmo, and then of course the Tyrande giving us some very nice stuns. All in all, should be a pretty solid match. Alright.
Prepare yourself for battle.
So, just to go through our Tier 1 talents, Reactive Parry, I go 90% of the time. I did try out Seasoned Marksman a bit while I was playing, and I found that, while it does help to get your damage pretty high up, like by level 20 with Seasoned Marksman and Nexus Blades, I was hitting for around 400 plus damage right clicks. And needless to say, that can be pretty brutal with Twin Blades. Ultimately, I found Reactive Parry to be the superior choice, simply because this is the equivalent of the block talent, but we're getting it every 4 seconds with Twin Blades if we use it on cooldown. So all in all, very, very strong.
It is destined.
All right, we're ready to go. Ended up picking up the Doubloon Mount. I really like the thing. I'm pretty sure it's a Protoss symbol. It might be a Diablo head, actually. I don't know. It looks kind of Protoss-y, though, so it works. Good dodge there by Sylvanas. You can see our shield coming on up. Shield's already off cooldown again, and that's one of the great things about him. Is good usage of your Twin Blades here. We can pull that cooldown very, very fast. Ooh, just about got killed there. Dash in, get some more damage into her. Pull that cooldown down. Alright, now I can get the shield up. I'm going to dash in, try and get some damage. Really want to kill this Sylvanas. Gotta be cautious though, because you can take damage during that dash. Last thing I want is to get hit by the towers as I'm dashing in. We're doing a pretty good job against her so far. And there we go. Oh, here comes Arthas. Oh man. Managed to dodge the root. Ooh, and I am just gonna barely escape him. Shield popped. Nice. Secured the kill, managed to get away. That's what counts. So right here, I like Ehil Alaricity simply because getting the extra speed on that is going to make it pretty easy for us. Oh, come on a little closer. If he comes in, I want to swap him out. You know, that extra speed is going to make it harder for the enemy to land good CCs on us during our dash. Chrono Surge is a decent choice. That 25% bonus attack speed can be pretty brutal, especially considering how beneficial attack speed is for us. Templar Zeal, a decent tanking option, allowing us to reduce the cooldown of this by 75% while we're at that low health threshold, and that will effectively allow us to use it almost constantly in fights, keeping ourselves up. With all that in mind, like I said, I do prefer the extra range and speed on my dash. It feels a lot easier to basically get in and do damage with that talent than without it. So we are going to jump on back, full health and mana. And you pain in the dick, Arthas. You're a real pain in the dick, you know that? Come on, come at me. I got a shield. You don't. And now you're dead. That's what you get. That's what you get, Arthas. The cooldown 20 seconds.
It is destined.
I don't like fighting this low, but I can. Alright, so we did manage to push them back. More allies don't even join. Little bitch. All I want, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going back. I can hit the fountain at this point. Not really a concern. The big thing is mana. You know, being low on health isn't a huge concern. It's the mana. So we are going to go Psionic Synergy here, even though we didn't take Templar Zeal. And that's just because it is very powerful. You know, making this each enemy hero hit will reduce the cooldown. So let's say there's 2 enemies, and we dash in and hit them both. That's 4, 8, 12, 16. Right off the cooldown, just from us using Blade Dash. You know, you work in one basic attack, and it's off cooldown there, so a very, very strong ability. Solarite Reaper is a decent choice. You know, getting the extra damage on that dash can be quite good. But all in all, on a map like this, I don't really think it's going to be necessary. I have picked it up on stuff like Haunted Mines to allow me to instant clear out the skull waves, and that does work pretty well. But here I'd rather have the better sustain for the longer team fights that will occur. Much tank. You're dead, Diablo. You can't go anywhere. Got him. So good use of Blade Dash right there. I knew where the enemy was, managed to jump in, take him out real fast right before he managed to hearth out. Go in, clean on up there. And taking a look at the damage, you can see we're a little bit low right now. Don't mind that. Artanis does scale quite nicely moving towards the end game. So, on this particular map, while I do like Force of Will a lot, I may end up going for target Purified. We'll go into it more later, but the big reason for that is when we use Purifier Beam, it stays on the target for 8 seconds. And actually, no, I'll just go into it now. With target Purified, basically, if our target dies, it's automatically recast on the next hero that's closest. And the great thing about that is, when I say recast, I mean it's recast for the full 8-second duration, making that a very, very powerful ability, especially in a map like this where heroes are going to group up trying to get the tribute. You know, you cast that out, you get it on one hero, they die, it recasts for a full 8 seconds on another hero, and then a full 8 seconds on another hero. And all in all, this is just, it's very powerful to help secure the kill. Good job by Leoric there. Going to be able to keep her in position. Knows she's going to get away. Got the shield up. Bring that cooldown down. There we go. Our shield is off cooldown, ready to pop Purifier Beam, enough to send Morales away. We got Diablo coming in. Leoric's going to block him up. I should be able to get this. No, not going to be able to, it looks like. That's fine. Dash in. Ooh, almost got the Diablo. Staying right on my targets. Trying as much as I can. Cannot keep the cooldown quite up. Need the rest of our team. Gaz charging up a blast. That should take out Morales. There we go. Leoric holding on, but they're not going to be able to beat out an Artanis and an Arthas here. He's got the swap on him, and he's not going to get away. Fortunately, Asmo, while he's not in the fight, is doing some really strong pushing here, almost the whole lane. Like that is this. If you're not going to be in a fight, this is the kind of work I want to see you doing. Making sure that Diablo can't get away here. He's gonna try and get away from the beam. Ooh, and the dash! There it is. So now we're going to go triple strike, making it so we hit 3 times with this, just giving us that much more damage.
Double kill.
Pull her back so she can't quite get away. Ooh, and she's getting really low. Leoric's going to come in, clean it on up. There are Artanis coming in a bit late here. And you're not going to get away. No, sir, you are not. There it is, on the dash back, taking it out. We can do this real fast, probably, with me and Tyrande. Nah, it looks like we're not. She's going to pull back. Make sure Leoric can get out of here. Now see, that's one of the few times where if I did have a Solarite Reaper right there, probably would have taken him out. That will not work on you. Too low on mana, but I'm not giving up the fight yet. So now taking a look at our damage, you can see now that we got some of the more DPS talents, 26,000 already. Very quickly shot ourselves up towards the top between picking up both our ultimate and triple strike. Once we get Zealot Charge, it'll get even higher. So one of the things I want to mention, since we are just about level 16, right now there actually is a glitch going on with Zealot Charge where if you get the very first attack in before you pop your W, it allows you to basically strike 8 times, assuming you have the triple strike pickup. Very good chance this is going to get patched. I mean, it's definitely not intentional, but it does allow you to do absolutely absurd amounts of burst. I mean, you're striking 8 times. With the kind of damage we're doing, you can do well over 1,000 damage in a single hit burst from it. So, like I said, I'm not going to really elaborate on that or showcase it, just to show it to you guys real fast. Well, let it die before we could, but you know, like I said, it's going to get patched. I wouldn't count on that as a reliable source of doing damage, but it is incredibly powerful. Definitely not something that was intentional. I mean, it allows you to just shred stuff. And normally, you dash in like that. As you can see, we did 4 basic attacks. We did our 3 from triple strike, plus an initial hit from the dash. And I mean, even without that bug, I still love Zealot Charge. It just gives me some nice initiation. So instead, you can see how it goes up quite a bit there. Go in, hit, and you can just see the numbers adding up incredibly fast there. And those were not light attacks either, you know. So you do whatever 8 times 250 is. So that's close to 2,000 damage right now. So, needless to say, it's broken. But yeah, like I said, that's gonna get patched, so don't rely on that. I just like the ability because it allows us to dash in and gives us some extra mobility on kills, since Blade Dash dashes us back after we use it.
Keep eliminating.
Oh, you're dead.
Double kill.
Ooh, thought I could get him there. Ooh, good job by Diablo there, dashing in and getting me. It's not going to be enough.
Double kill.
Now you're going to see why this character has such absurd sustain. Look at this. Arthas is like, I can beat him. I can beat him. No, you cannot. And the Zealot Charge going in and cleaning things up right there. Utterly absurd. Absurd. Shield Overload's just like, nah, go away. I'm not dying. Get out of here. And so like I said, at level 20, target Purified is a decent option. In general, Orbital Bombardment, unless you're up against, like, you know, Butcher, Raynor, and Hammer, like, you literally need that, you know, constant blind. I don't really think that's worth it. Target Purified, however, on maps where you have the CC and you know you can't get targets, very powerful. Overall, Force of Will, in my opinion, is the best choice here, simply because reducing that to 6 seconds, you know, right there, we're getting 3 attacks. 3 attacks at 6 seconds is 18. Even without counting the other basic attack or the attack we're getting from Zealot Charge, right there, that basically pulls us off cooldown completely on its own. Nexus Blades, I mean, if you really want to focus damage, yeah, it's an extra 20%, but, you know, it's not necessary. Like, the slow can be nice, but ultimately I'd rather have the extra sustain that I can get from not taking that and getting the Force of Will upgrade. Oh! They managed to get me finally, but the beam is going to take down Arthas there. See, this would have actually been a great time for the recast, because it would have taken out Morales, recast on Diablo, taken out him, and probably recast on their Artanis. Unfortunately there, ended up getting stunned, wasn't able to blade dash in to get my cooldown off. A little bit unfortunate. Meanwhile, Asmo is just molesting their core right here. Good chance he might actually take that down. Artanis is showing up though. He needs to just run. I mean, the core is low. This game's going to be done soon enough anyway, but very hard to fight an Artanis one-on-one. Not many heroes that I think can beat him one-on-one right now, to be honest. But yeah, I think just this is the GG. Yeah, just the raw amount of guys we have coming in. So all in all, looking at the stats, 4 deaths, 22,000 siege, 48,000 hero damage. 48,000, guys, as a warrior. That's absurd. That was the highest hero damage in the game. Like, just look at that. Look at that. 32, 35, 48, 15, 35, 34, 23, 31, 35, 17. It's absurd that you can do that much damage as a warrior. So once again, just going into our talent build, like I said, a bit of a best of both worlds, giving you some good tankiness while also excellent kind of assassin hybrid capability. Reactive parry for the block. Lethal Alaricity here for the extra speed, Psionic Synergy to help get the shield off cooldown, Purifier Beam to nuke people that are CC'd, Triple Strike followed by Zealot Charge for that nice initiation, and of course Force of Will just helping us stay alive and giving us that much more sustain. So either way, guys, that is going to wrap up the Artanis guide. Hopefully you guys liked it. Definitely recommend picking this one up. Awesome warrior, absolutely love him. I mean, to be honest, he's probably going to be my new main warrior, just because I love the damage this guy is capable of in conjunction with his sustain. So either way, thanks for coming by, and we will see you guys with the Daily Dose series.